Hi everyone, welcome to Family Sunday. Our story this week is about Nehemiah, and I've actually got two story videos for you to watch. You might already have watched the one I did, but I'm going to put a link to another one down in the comments. We watched it as Supernova and it's a really cool way to tell the story of Nehemiah. So if you're going to watch them both, I would watch the other one first because it's an overview of everything that Nehemiah does, and then watch my one, which is just what we're talking about today. If you've already watched my one, that's fine, it doesn't matter, but I would go and watch that other one. It's a really cool way to tell the story. So when Nehemiah got that news about the wall in Jerusalem, he was really sad, wasn't he? Why do you think he was so sad? Sad enough to sit down and cry on the floor for days. Why do you think he was so sad? And I think it's really cool because the first thing Nehemiah did was pray. I said some bits of his prayer in my story video. You can go and have a look at it. It's a really cool prayer. You can find it in Nehemiah chapter 1 and it's verses 5 to 11. Go and have a look at that prayer. I wonder, what's your favourite bit of Nehemiah's prayer? I really like that prayer because I really like the fact that Nehemiah knows everything God said to the people in the past and he talks to God about it. I think that's really cool because, God knows those things, doesn't he? He knows he said them, but Nehemiah is saying, I know those things too. I understand your promises. I understand what you've said. I really want to talk to you about those things. I think it's a really cool prayer that Nehemiah prays. At the end of the prayer, we can tell, can't we, that Nehemiah has made up his mind to speak to the king, but he was really scared. Why do you think he was so scared? That king could have killed Nehemiah. Nehemiah could have been killed just for speaking in front of the king. And if he'd said something the king didn't like, he could have been killed. Or the king could have just said, no, you're not going. I think that would be kind of a scary thing for Nehemiah when we really, really want something. And it's a really important thing. The idea of not being able to have it or not being able to do it is quite scary, isn't it? The king asks Nehemiah what he wants. But what does Nehemiah do before he replies? Did you figure it out? He prays first. He says a quick prayer to God in his head, and I think that's a really cool thing about Nehemiah. He prays before he does anything. He prayed before he went to speak to the king. Even while he's speaking to the king, he prays before answering. I think that's really cool. Why do you think it's important to pray to God before we do things? It's good to talk to God about important things, but God loves it when we just chat to him. How cool is that? And lots of people just chat to God when they're going about their normal days. Maybe they chat to God in the kitchen while they're cooking some food, or chat to God in the car while they're going somewhere, or maybe while they're walking, or maybe while they're playing a game or something like that, they chat to God about it. I wonder, when does each person in your family like to chat to God? God loves to hear everything we have to say. Even if it's something he knows already, he still loves it when we tell him about it. I wonder, what do people in your family like to chat to God about? I like to chat to God about my day sometimes. I like to tell him what I've been doing and say whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. And I know that God already knows those things, but I also know he likes to hear from me and he likes to know what I think about things. Also, sometimes I chat to God about my friends. I ask God to look after them, and if I'm worried or if there's something particular they need, I might ask God if he can do that for them. There's lots of things we can chat to God about. I thought it would be cool if in your family you spent some time chatting to God now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a list of different things on the screen. Some of them are questions, or some of them will say tell God and give you an idea to tell God about something. So choose one person in your family to read out one of those things, and then to leave a little wait, 30 seconds or so, and then to read the next one, and then everyone can have a go at just chatting to God. Your chats to God are your own, they're private. You don't have to tell anyone else about them. You can do them in your head, or if you want, you could whisper behind your hands, like that. They're between you and God. No one else needs to hear what you're chatting to God about. That's something that's really cool about God. You can tell him anything you like, and it's always between you and God. If you want to do out loud prayers as well, that's fine. Either is fine. God doesn't mind. So I'm going to put those things on the screen. Choose someone in your family to be the reader. And read something and then leave a little gap for everyone to chat to God in their heads, and then read the next thing. And then at the end you can all do a great big amen together if you like. I hope you enjoyed spending some time just chatting to God. If you want to, you can share with each other the things you chatted about. Like I said, you don't have to. That's a good thing about chatting to God. It's always between you and God. Now, don't forget that you can join us for Zoom, coffee and chat at 12 o'clock today. I'm not going to be there today because I'm actually on holiday, but I will see you next week for that. And I hope you have a really good week. I'll see you next week. I'll be there for Story and Family Sunday. There won't be any craft again because I'm still away. I'm making these videos in advance to make sure you guys have some stuff while I'm on holiday. I'll see you soon. Bye.